like why you had to take my brother's way. Money in my mattress, but I had to cap another safe. I just capped another safe. I just capped another safe. All these bitches on me now.
Yo guys, what's going on? Modern Hoops here, and I am back with another video. So I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen the title already, and if you haven't, today I'm going to be talking about 4 NBA teams that has the best possibility at making a blockbuster trade by the trade deadline or signing a big name. And I'm only going to be talking about 4 NBA teams because I didn't want to make this video too long, but with that being said, let's just get right into it. Now, coming at number 1 is the Boston Celtics. Now, the Boston Celtics are one of the youngest talented teams in the NBA. You know, they got players such as Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, and Kyrie Irving, which I think he's about only 25. And with that being said, they have a lot of first round picks to work with, like the 2018 Los Angeles Lakers or the 2019 Sacramento Kings first round pick. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is, if the Celtics wanted to, they could go out and make a blockbuster trade by the trade deadline. And I know what some of you guys are saying, you know, Danny Ainge would never trade Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, you know, they're too good, too young. But you know, I'm not really buying that, especially because it's Danny Ainge. We all know what happened with the Isaiah Thomas story. You know, the man gave his heart, his soul to the city. He averaged 28 points last year. He led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and yet they traded him. I mean, what more can you ask more from a player? So I'm not buying the fact that he's gonna keep them, especially if a big name were to come up like DeMarcus Cousins, who they've been eyeing at for a really long time. But that doesn't mean Danny Ainge is a bad manager. That's just how business goes, and you know, you can't really do nothing about it. The Celtics doesn't have any big contracts, so overall, if they wanted to go out and make a big move by the trade deadline, I think that they're able to. Now, coming at number 2 is the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, once again, the Los Angeles Lakers are a really young team, and with most young teams, they have a lot of tradable assets. You know, they got Lonzo Ball, you know, Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, Larry Nance Jr., and Julius Randle. Now, I don't want you guys to get me wrong. I'm not saying they're gonna trade Lonzo Ball or Brandon Ingram. I'm just mentioning the young players that they have. But if the Los Angeles Lakers wanted to, I think they could go out and make a big signing by the trade deadline because they have a lot of tradable young assets on their roster. Magic Johnson has shown that, you know, he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the team to the next level. And if you ever seen the Los Angeles Lakers play, they're a really competitive team. Even though they're not winning games, they're still a really good competitive team. And every time they go out there to play, you know, most of the time it's a really close game. So if they were able to go out and sign a big name or a veteran star on the roster, I feel like that could really help this team out to take them to the next level. Considering the fact with the development of their young players, this team could actually be a threat in a couple years or in a few seasons. But overall, if the Lakers wanted to, they could just wait by the off season and try to sign a free agent, because there's gonna be a lot of free agents by the end of the season. But if they were trying to go after a blockbuster trade by the trade deadline, I feel like they have all the necessary pieces to go out and do it. Now, coming at number 3 is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, once again, the Bucks are one of the youngest teams in the NBA, and they have a lot of tradable assets like, you know, Malcolm Brogdon, Don Maker, Chris Middleton, Jabari Parker, Tony Shell, and DJ Wilson. The Bucks are a really decent team in the NBA, but they still are in need for a lot of improvement, especially on the defensive end of the floor. This team could really use a defensive big man on their roster like a rim protector, and I could possibly see them making the move by the All-Star break. We all heard the news around the league that the Bucks been eyeing JaVale McGee on the Golden State Warriors, and to me that makes perfect sense because JaVale McGee isn't getting any real playing time with the Golden State Warriors, and he's exactly what the Bucks needed. A tall, lengthy dude, you know, could block shots, and you know, a strong defensive presence in the paint that could really help this team out big time. So if they wanted to, with all the trade assets that they have, I feel like this team could go out, you know, make a jump on a defensive big man by the trade deadline. Coming at number 3 is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, as long as the Cavs have that first round pick, they're gonna be in every trade talk no matter what. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am not a strong believer in the Cavs roster this year. Honestly, a lot of people were hyping them up this offseason, but I never really bought into it because, yeah, they did get a few great pieces like, you know, Isaiah Thomas. After trading Kyrie Irving, they got Jay Crowder, you know, D Wade, but they're still facing the same problem this year that they were facing last year, which is their defense. defense, they went out and got a lot of offensive-based players like D Wade and Isaiah Thomas. And don't get me wrong, Jay Crowder is one of the best two-way players in the NBA, but he's not that defensive presence that they need. And with that being said, I don't see them winning the title this year, but they do have that Brooklyn Nets first-round pick, which they could use to go after a good defensive presence by the trade deadline, which could really help them out. But at the same time, that is also a risk, because LeBron James have came out saying that he wouldn't tell the Cavs if he'd commit or not, which is pretty bad, because if you go on to trade that pick and LeBron does leave by this offseason, you have nothing to rely on, which puts you in a bad spot. But if you don't use that pick, you know, you're not gonna go after that defensive presence that you need, which could help your team out a lot to combat the Warriors. So the Cavs are in a sticky position right now, but if they needed to, they could go out and try to attempt at going after a big defensive star name in the NBA. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you guys today. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe for more NBA content. And don't forget, I will be doing a giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. But with that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you all later. Peace.